class. We're going to cover lesson 3.3, which is about the mean, median, mode, and range of a set of numbers. All of those categories, all of those words are words that help us find the middle of the data set. You know what a data set is? What is a data set? It's a series of numbers. It's a group of numbers. Yep. A group of numbers that have to do with the same theme is called a set. A theme is like the price of homes in this city, or the amount that gasoline costs for your car from different stations. Okay? Those are all examples of data sets. They follow the same theme. So, all of these are ways of measuring the central tendency. It's called the central tendency because it's like the center or the middle of the data set. So, one of the ways to find the central tendency, or the middle, is to find the mean of the data set. Another word for mean is average. Okay? How do you find the average or the mean of the data set? Dylan?
You put them all in, or you put all the numbers and divide by all of the numbers in order.
Okay. First you add all the numbers together. You find the sum of all the numbers. And then you divide by the number of numbers in the set. If there are 4 numbers in the set, you divide by 4. If there's 10 numbers in the set, you divide by 10. Okay? That number gives you the average and the mean. It's a one way of finding the central tendency, or the middle of the set. Now, that might give you one number. That's not the only way of finding the middle, or the central tendency. Oftentimes we talk about a bell curve in a set. A bell curve is like the middle of the numbers, but it's usually the ones that occur the most often. So that's called the mode of the set. You can remember mode and most. Now, in a set, there could be no mode. If all of the numbers occur the same number of times, if they all only occur once, or if they all occur twice, then there is no mode. Okay? But if one number, or 2 numbers even, or maybe 3 numbers occur 3 times where all the other ones occur only once, then that number, or those numbers, are the mode of the set. Okay? Another way to find the central tendency of the numbers is to find the middle number, or the middle value. The middle value. That's called the median. And one of the ways, first of all, to find the middle, you have to put the numbers in order. You have to list the numbers in order. Okay? And then, if there's an even number of numbers, you have to find the middle value between the 2 middle numbers. So let's say that there are 2 numbers in our set. There is 84 and 87. Those 2 numbers. Okay? There is no mode, right? And the middle number, there is no middle number because there's only 2 numbers. Right? So, if the middle is between 2 numbers, then you can find the middle value, or the median, by adding the numbers together and then dividing by 2. Add the 2 middle numbers together and divide by 2. Okay? Any questions on that? the range of the data set. That's not one of the central tendencies. The range does not give us the central tendencies. All of these help us to find the middle value, or a way of looking at the middle. The range is simply the difference between the highest value and the lowest value. Okay? So again, the new term here is the central tendency, the numbers that best represent the center or the middle of the set. Okay? Now, you'll see questions like, is the mode the best central tendency? Well, let's look at this set of data here. 5, 5, 5, 6, and 11. The mode is 5, isn't it? Is the mode the best representation of the central tendency? What is the mode in this set? It's 5, isn't it? There are 3 5s. 5, 5, 5, 6, and 11. So the mode is not the best central tendency, that's the smallest value. What's the median? What's the median, Joey?
5.
It's also 5, because there's 5 numbers. And so the median is 5, so that's not the best central tendency. What's the mean? That's what I found here. The mean. So 5 plus 5 plus 5, 15, plus 6, 21, plus 11, 32, divided by 5, because there's 5 numbers. That equals 6 2/5, or 6.4. That gives us a middle value. That's the mean. Is that a good central tendency?
Yes. No. I don't know.
That is a pretty good central tendency. Maybe. Okay. So the mean would be a good example of the middle value of the set. Okay. Shishan, you have a question?
No.
Okay. So this is what helps us to figure out what central tendency means. Okay? Now, there's another question that you're asked to find. This type of question is to find the missing value. Let's say that you took 3 tests this quarter, and you scored 88% on one, you scored a 95% on one, you scored a 83% on one, and you want to get an average of a 90%, so you can get a B+. You want to get a mean. There's one more test to take. Okay, what do you need to score on that test? How would you find that answer? How would you find what do you think you need to get on that last test in order to get to an average of 90%, so you get a B+? Kira.
Well, I don't know the answer, but maybe you would do the mean and then subtract that from 90 and whatever is left.
Okay. To get the mean of these, that might help you. Okay. Let's look again at what the definition of the mean, or how do we find the mean? How would we find 90%? What does that mean? What does that mean? Yes.
Well, I would just do it backwards.
Do it backwards. Yeah, that's exactly right.
Reverse it. So 90 multiplied by 4.
Times 4, because there's 4 tests. You're going to need an average of 90 for 4 tests. So how many points, or how many total percent is that?
36,000.
James. 360. That's the total that you need, isn't it? So if you have this much so far. How much is this so far? Well, add these up. 8 and 5 is 13, plus 3 is 16. And 8 and 9 is 17. Or 18, rather. Plus 8 is 166. So this is 9 plus 9 is 18 plus 8 is 26, right? 266. Now, if you have 266 and you need a total of 360, how do you find what you need to get on the last test? Lydia?
You minus 360 and
Whoops. Subtract 266. What is that?
no.
So Henry, it's not
4. 15.
It's 94.
It's 94. 94, isn't it? You have to get a 94 on the last test in order to average 90. So anytime you need to get an average or a mean of a certain number, you know that you could take this, what you need, and multiply it to work backwards. Multiply it by the number of tests that you're taking or the number of times you're going to do something. So you can find the total of what you need and then subtract what you already have. Any questions on that? All right, that's it for now. Stop the tape.
Like that.
You need to recalibrate your board.
That.